Hi guys, it's Natalie and Alan back again, just as we promised, reviewing the games over the weekend. We actually only had 5 games to watch, 7 of them were postponed, so hopefully they will get to be played at some point in the future, but we don't know. Anything can happen in COVID times, as everybody is more than aware of.
Yeah, so basically the first 2 games were cancelled, postponed. Montpellier against Leinster and Racing against Ospreys. And what's funny about those 2 games is that the French teams were both given 28-0 victory, so they got bonus point wins. All the other cancellations were due to the French teams not travelling to the UK, and they all got postponements to other dates. So it didn't benefit anybody else, although the French teams wouldn't travel. So that is interesting to note. The games that did take place on the weekend, were Ulster against Saints, which was a 27-22 win for Ulster. Harlequins against Cardiff, which was a 43-17 win for Harlequins. But there's a lot to note in that game, is that Cardiff actually played with 3 part-timers and a few youngsters from the youth squad, and they did really well, considering it was 17 all at half-time. So that was really, really good. They had a groundsman, they had a primary school teacher, and they also had a quantity surveyor who was actually playing in that game. And I would also say
they looked really good in the first half.
And I would like to just put a mention out there to Theo Kabango, who's a 19-year-old guy who came on, and he scored an amazing try, probably try of the weekend. And the other youngster, Cameron Winnett, scored the try in the 4th minute. So those are 2 youngsters, and the Cameron Winnett was on his debut, so that's really good. But all in all, Cardiff are missing out on 42 players, and they've played Toulouse, who are the reigning Heineken Cup champions, and they've also played Harlequins this week. So massive, massive wins for them. Well, in as much as a moral victory, I guess you would say.
Loss.
Yeah, moral victory. And then that was the Quins game, 42-17 against Cardiff, and that was in the Stoop. And then Glasgow against Exeter, that was in the fog.
That was hard to watch. I don't know what the referee could see, but apparently it wasn't so bad at pitch level. But when those lights came on, it was literally watching a white screen.
Yeah, so that was 22-7 to Glasgow, which is a bit surprising considering Exeter have been the forerunners in the Premiership over the last couple of years. Munster against Castra, good win for Munster. Because Munster are an island, they're allowed to travel to the island, but they weren't allowed to travel to the rest of the UK. And that was a 19-13 win. Damien Dearlende was man of the match, so that's good for the South African supporters and the South African contingent in the UK. And then today we had Leicester against Connacht, and that was a 29-23 win for Leicester. And Jasper Wiese played really well, so good win for him over there. So he's getting into his stride in Leicester now. The games that were cancelled was Bath against Rochelle, Sharks against Clermont, Scarlets against Bordeaux, Toulon against Wasps, and Stade Francais against Bristol. So those are the games that were cancelled. So we need to see where they're going to fit those games, because there's not really...
And if they don't, what's going to happen? Because it'll be really interesting if the French get the 28-0 against them.
Yeah, so it's good to see that it's not just the South Africans that get done over with these decisions and stuff like that. There's also the Wales are up in arms at the moment about how it's been handled. They're saying it's a bit of a farce. But I suppose with the COVID thing at the moment, we need to all bear in mind that health and safety comes first, and player safety and all that kind of thing. So players that did really well over the weekend, Andre Esterhuizen and Tyrone Green for Harlequins were really, really good. And like I've already said, Damien Dearlende played pretty well for Munster. Theo Kabango, try of the week, I think. Go and have a look at that. That was an amazing try for such a young guy. And Ben Youngs, Harlequin, played a really, really good game, and he was man of the match in the Harlequins game.
So yeah, just kind of what's going to happen next. We've got more COVID restrictions in the UK. We are expecting some announcement over the next couple of days. I think they're going down to 5,000 fans in the stadium now. So the guys have been used to having the fans back. It was interesting, Damien Dearlende was just saying it was the first time since he's been in Ireland that he's actually played with a crowd. So, that's going to look to be going again. You guys know all about that. You're limited with your crowds, I guess, at the moment. But yeah, who knows what the next few weeks and months are going to bring.
And it does put into perspective how well the Springboks did over the last year with the restrictions, and how much effort and time must have gone into that to actually have the Lions tour running, even though there were no fans, and to actually come away with a win and then do 19 weeks of isolation
bubbles.
and stuff like that, and bubbles and everything, and to come over to the UK and play the well they did.
And they're looking really good in their home teams as well, aren't they? Like, I think, you know, we get a lot of, or the South African players get a lot of positive vibes up north. So, yeah, they're definitely the right tournament. I think.
So next week, obviously Christmas weekend, we have the Premiership on the 26th. They all play on the 26th, and then we have the URC playing on the 24th and 26th. It's a bit of a strange format because the South African teams aren't actually playing in this round. They only play this round at the end of January or the beginning of February, I think. And it's just a case of seeing how we all fit in now, because hopefully it's all home derbies for the next week in the actual URC. So home derbies, home games. We see where we all go with that, and hopefully we can get some footing because we've just been slipping all over the place. And then the Premiership next week. On Boxing Day, it's a good big week for all that stuff. Hopefully we can watch a couple of games and they're not all cancelled, because there is talk about bringing in more restrictions and stuff like that. They're bound to be cancelled. Yeah, so
I think we should take bets on how many games are actually going to run.
Yeah, we have to see what happens with that. So as far as the actual ratings and stuff, if we give you a brief little opinion on what's happening in the URC? I don't think it's a good start for us, is it?
Hasn't panned out quite the way we'd hoped it would. I think personally for me, the Cardiff game was a bit of a highlight. I was watching that one thinking that they were doing so well, and then just to watch it kind of unravel when they ran out of steam in the second half was unfortunate, but to be expected. But I think it just really shows the determination of, you know, the clubs to pull people together, and, you know, otherwise that would have been 2 weeks of no rugby for Cardiff. So that was a good game for me. Yeah,
so like we said, we'll probably be back next week, and then we'll give you a bit more information on the Premiership and what's happening in the URC. I imagine the URC will be the main focus going forward. The Heineken Cup's going to have to make some changes. And what we can see so far, the results are a little bit up in the air. It seems to favour the French teams a little bit. So we need to see how that can run. And like we said in our last video, hopefully we can try and see if we can get the South African teams involved in the Heineken Cup and stuff like that. But I think that's pretty much it for this week in the review. We don't have much more to say about that, and hopefully next week we'll have a bit more and a few more games we can discuss and stuff like that. But let us know your opinions in the comments. Like I said before, let the guys at Sportstats know, and if you want us to take over and not see them anymore, let me know and I can tell them. That's fine. And then they can give control of the site over to us. And we can take over. Okay, but thanks for giving us.
We don't have autumn brides though. We have crappy weather.
No, the weather's a bit rubbish down here, but that's okay because we still have rugby and all that other stuff. So that's good. And we get to watch. One of the big benefits of the URC is I get to support the Lions. I haven't been able to watch them I've been in the UK 20 years now, so it's good that I get to watch the Lions and stuff like that. And we were looking at Boxing Day in the middle of winter. That's not normally when we get to watch our rugby in South Africa. And also I know the Currie Cup is starting in February time, which is obviously when the Six Nations is on. So hopefully we can give the fans in South Africa a bit more input into what's happening up here. And Natalie will give you a few book reviews. She's got all the books and the autobiographies and stuff like that. And we can really show you guys and maybe help you guys just expand knowledge. And like I said before, give you a bit more feedback into what's going on in the games and stuff like that anyway. So I think that's pretty much it
until Christmas. So hopefully
have a good week. Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas.
Everyone. And hopefully we'll see you soon and give you a little brief a rundown of what's going to happen next week. Okay. So from Natalie and Alan in Bristol, that's it. Thank you very much.
Bye.
And have a good weekend.